Hi, the title of my presentation is An Analysis of Children's Perception on the Concept of Neighborhood Through Their Own Paintings. A neighborhood that encloses many types of buildings can not only be grasped with its geometrical, physical, and quantitative attributes such as the parcel area, street network, and the number of households, but it's also comprehended through its phenomenological attributes, such as the time flowing. Thus, a neighborhood deserves to be defined as a setting where neighbors come together, memories are accumulated, and events of happiness, sadness, and pain are also shared. In this sense, the neighborhood is an environment where a certain culture of living is transferred from family to family and from generation to generation. Within this context, it is inevitable for the children to perceive this culture of living, since they are the reflections of the environment, they are born, they are grown up, and pursue their living. However, in our present time, it must be admitted that fluctuating environmental conditions and also the capital-oriented policies being implemented, especially since the 1880s, have been continuously changing not only the small-scale neighborhoods, but also the metropolitan scale cities. This change not only leads to the alteration of the concept of the neighborhood, whether in the countryside or in the city, but also makes changes in the perceptual process of children who are growing up in this new world order. So in this study, the hypothesis focuses on a kind of cause and effect way, which means fluctuating conditions of the new world order makes alterations of the concept of the neighborhood and so that it affects the changes in the perceptual processes of children. This study examines the changes of the processes of children about the concept of neighborhood through their own paintings, which are accepted in a painting contest themed of My Neighborhood, which is held by the Istanbul Metropolitan Branch of the Chamber of Architects in 2018. All the pictures that participated in the contest are analyzed through chi-square tests whether there are significant correlations between dependent variables and independent variables. The dependent variables of the study are the focus on a utopian or dystopian city, public space, inclusive design parameters, emphasis on green areas, mixed-use functions, while the independent variables are gender and grade level of the students. The contest, in which 163 pictures are evaluated, is mainly attended by girls. When the pictures in the contest are examined, it is noticed firstly that there are various positive or negative assessments of children's perception about the concept of city and their neighborhoods. Besides, some children seem to portray the neighborhoods they live in as a dense environment consisting of high-rise buildings. It is also observed that black, gray, and cold colors are dominated in these pictures, and the human expressions used are often found to be negative. Additionally, it is noticed that some of the paintings emphasize a kind of contrast in a way that they express both the past happy state of the neighborhood and the present troubled state. Some of the children, on the other hand, have depicted the concept of neighborhood through an utterly optimistic way. In these paintings, it is noticed that green areas with playgrounds, vivid street life, and children playing ball and hopscotch are used extensively. Furthermore, despite the fact that there is an increase in the amount of gated communities in cities like Istanbul, some pictures appear to be dominated by a mixed-use neighborhood with the commercial units on the lower floors of the housing estates. Moreover, some pictures emphasize the presence of a bike path in the urban life and disabled people use the city in a peaceful way. When we look at the correlations, the results of the chi-square test show that the only significant correlation is between gender and representation of the focus on a utopian city. Besides, a very close statistical correlation is also found between gender and representation of emphasis on green areas. When the two correlations are analyzed, the distributions of these representations are revealed mostly in girls' pictures. In conclusion, it is comprehended through these pictures that physical and sociological changes in cities closely affect the children's cognitive processes. Thus, it is possible to say that there is either a positive or negative change in children's cognition about the concept of neighborhood. Thank you very much for listening.